arrived on this island at dawn this morning. I was here because of a cable I'd received from an old friend, s1e Polej. Because of a wrong address, it took 2 weeks for the cable to reach me. The message was 3 words: need your help. As I headed for the copra shop owned by s1e, I wondered if the delayed cable had caused me to arrive too late to help.
You like cobra mat, sir? You like? Yes, sir. Any man smart when buys, he does for Mogi.
Later, perhaps.
Mogi, best guy in Lato. At closing time, he takes you to the devil himself for $1 American.
I won't make your job that hard. Just tell s1e Polej that Mike Lanyard would like to see him. What's the matter?
s1e, go away. s1e no come back ever, never. You go away, too.
Just a minute.
How do I know who you are? How do I know?
On second thought, I think I will buy that map.
Mogi have no change. You come back later tonight, 10 hours after dark.
All right. I'll come back, as you say, 10 hours after dark. I bought back issues of the local newspaper, and I returned to my hotel. I thought they might be helpful, when I was interrupted by a knock on the door.
Yeah?
He introduced himself as Lieutenant Tanana of the local police. I recognized him as the officer I'd seen when I left s1e's shop. He was polite, but firm in his request for me to go with him to Colonel Lana's office. He carefully explained that Colonel Lana was the law of the island. As I waited for Lana, I saw a girl. You couldn't call her beautiful, but you could say she was interesting.
You may enter now, Mr. Lanyard.
Huh? Oh, thanks.
Mr. Lanyard, I'm sorry we must inconvenience you, but worrisome laws are most necessary. Please be seated. There are several questions we must ask you. Your name? Your full name, sir?
Michael Lanyard.
Residence?
United States.
And your reason for coming here?
Tourist.
I will ask it again. Your reason for coming?
And I'll say it again. Tourist.
Strange that a tourist would be inquiring as soon as he entered our city about such a man as s1e Polej.
What's so strange about that?
First, that you should know one of our people. Second, that you should have an interest in such a barbaric monster.
You must be thinking of a different person. The s1e Polej I know is a Yale graduate. A credit to this country.
This is the tropics, Mr. Lanyard. Place where in a day a vine will grow. It's a part of the world where the flora prosper and mankind is most apt to deteriorate.
How does this apply to s1e?
s1e Polej has succumbed to his heritage. He has been drawn back into the jungle, back to the ways of his forefathers, to savagery.
You're out of your mind.
I wish I were. At one time, he was a fine man. As you say, a credit to his country. Do you recognize these?
Yes. A knife and a doll.
Much more than that. This is a doll of voodoo. And this is a Benga bolo hunting knife, once used by the natives to harvest coconuts. Now used to sever heads, which are later shrunk. These savageries were supposed to have died with our forefathers. But with Suva's guidance, the natives have brought it back to the present. Now, once again, Mr. Lanyard, why did you wish to see Suva Polej?
He wrote that he had some land for sale. I came here to see it.
All his land was confiscated by the government. But perhaps we may help you anyway. Your permit of entry.
It was almost night when I left Lana's office. I wondered whether I was being tailed, but for the moment I didn't care. I had something else to do. Read the old newspapers in my hotel room.
I've been waiting for you. My name is Gerda Van Ryck.
Hello.
I'm here at the request of my fiancé, Colonel Lana.
Oh.
He tells me you're interested in buying some land for raising copra. Perhaps I can help.
How?
My father owns nearly half this island.
Van Ryck. I've seen that name on copra crates all the way back to Honolulu.
It's been the business of our family for well over 100 years. But it's a lonely business. I think my father would be happy to sell some land if for no other reason than to have some company from America. Why not come out to our plantation for a day or so?
I'll think it over.
You will contact us.
I will. Thanks. It was almost 10 o'clock when I reached the copra shop. Muggy was nowhere in sight. Then I saw that the shop door was open. When I entered, I saw Muggy's ukulele. It had been smashed. Then I saw something else. A knife protruding from a rolled-up copra mat. Someone had made certain Muggy would never talk to me or anyone again. The knife was expensive, and carved on the handle was a crest. I had seen it before on a card belonging to the Van Rycks. If they had meant it as bait to get me to their plantation, I had a surprise for them. I was going to fall for it. Late the next day, I paid the Van Rycks a call. They were entertaining another visitor, Colonel Lana. We were invited to stay for dinner.
Sometimes we begin to think we are more a part of the jungle than civilization.
I'm not sure there's any real difference.
What do you mean, Mr. Lanyard?
Take the murder of the boy mat dealer. Lato's a fairly modern town. Yet the way he died was very primitive.
As I explained to you yesterday, there is a great movement on by Suva Polej to hack away at all the progress we have made here.
Colonel Lana is right. A few more of these barbaric outbreaks, and this whole area will once again become a haven for savagery.
Exactly what has happened?
No one specific incident. We expect native outbreaks every now and then. But they become quite frequent and violent.
And you all think that Suva's are responsible, huh?
He was beaten here in the elections last year. Since then, he's tried to take the law into his own hands. Mr. Lanyard, you're still not convinced of what we say about Suva Polej. Perhaps I could show you proof.
Why is proving anything to me so important?
You're an American. I assume a man of consequence. The opinions of such people are quite important to us.
I'm not, as you put it, Colonel, a man of consequence, but I'd like very much to see your proof.
Well, now you've seen it. These ancient cults are all but extinct in this part of the country. So is murder, shrunken heads, and firewalking. It will happen any moment now. Once the natives have placed themselves into a state of suspension, then follows their work with the bolo knives.
Why don't you stop them?
All we can do is retain them in the jungle and capture Superpolage. When this is done, then we know it will cease.
Look!
Mr. Lanyard, it is well you will be spared seeing what they will do to themselves before the night is over.
It doesn't make sense. Suva couldn't have turned into a barbarian.
We'd better return to the house.
At the entrance to the plantation, I excused myself, saying I was troubled and wanted to think. Lana understood and said, anyone is troubled when they find an old friend has become a murderer. As they left, I carefully retraced the path back into the jungle. There had to be an explanation for what I'd seen. I couldn't believe the natives had crossed the time barrier. The stones were red hot, and I began to wonder if it was true that Superpolage was responsible for the natives returning to the ways of their forefathers. I decided to look around. For one of the natives, it had been too much, and his feet showed the reason why. When I examined his eyes, his pupils were dilated, and I realized the firewalkers had all been drugged. That left a question. Was Suva responsible, or was it someone else? The native needed medical help, and the best I could do for the moment was to find some water for his feet. Only someone had taken him away while I was getting it.
Lanyard,
Yeah?
you have to come with me.
Where do we go?
You have come a long way to see Suva. I will take you to him now.
You did come, old friend.
I don't think I had much choice, did I?
All right, Polly.
You're a hard man to find, Suva. I thought the boy in the mat shop might help me.
Muggy?
Yeah.
Well, he tried to help. He came to me to be certain I wanted to see you. And he was killed before you arrived at his place.
Somebody knows the real reason I'm here.
Colonel Lana suspects. If he was certain you'd be dead. Sit down, Mike.
American cigarette, radio, all modern conveniences. You're not at all like you've been pictured to me.
And just how have I been pictured, Mike?
That you're trying to take the natives back to the Dark Ages? What's it all about?
It's about a way of life, Mike. It's about giving every man a chance to live like a human being. Now, this wasn't the case when I returned here after the war. Lanyard made a virtual dictatorship out of these islands. I made the mistake of fighting him fairly.
Go on.
You can see what it's gained for me. Exiled to the jungle and accused of having gone savage.
Yeah, I know. I saw some of it tonight.
Yes. I've had Polly following you.
Those men were doped.
Yes, they were. And also the ones who have been committing the atrocities. Come with me, Mike, and I'll tell you why. These are our group of islands. Mixed among the population are a great many nationalities. A very workable arrangement exists in most of the islands, but here we're divided.
Why?
Colonel Lanyard and his government want prosperity for only a few. The majority of my people want a free government with prosperity for everyone.
And you want to make it your own personal war, huh?
Not so personal. One fights abroad for freedom. Why deny it at home?
Where do the Van Ryks fit?
They don't.
Don't they? You're wrong.
Why do you say that?
The knife that killed Muggy had the Van Ryk crest on it. And Gerda Van Ryk is engaged to Colonel Lana. Suddenly, Suva turned from me. He began to talk, and then he got louder. He hollered I was a liar, that I'd double-crossed him. I tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't listen. Instead, he called for Polly. He gave orders to have me taken back to the Van Ryk plantation. He said he never wanted to see me again. Did you find what you were looking for?
I found Suva's cable to you. You really are his friend.
You figure it out. You're engaged to Colonel Lana. He's in this right up to his gold-braided neck.
I know. I tried so hard to find a way to stop him.
I don't believe you.
You must believe me. You see, I'm in love with Suva Polej.
What?
I've been in love with him for nearly 3 years. When he was exiled to the jungle, my only chance of helping him was through Colonel Lana.
So far, you haven't been much help.
I can prove that Colonel Lana's responsible, and I've just discovered he's working for someone much more important.
Oh? Who?
My father. Sometimes when a man has achieved great wealth, something happens to him. It happened to my father. He had all the money he wanted, so he looked for power. Running this island became an obsession with him.
And Lana was his front man, huh?
Suva realized that people were being subjugated into a military dictatorship by Colonel Lana. So he rebelled, and the natives joined him.
Does Suva know your father was involved in this?
No.
Does he know about your so-called engagement to Lana?
I've never told him because I felt he might do something foolish.
I saw Suva today. I told him about you and Lana. I told him in the wrong way. Where is Suva now?
I'll take you to him.
No. You wait here, I'll go alone.
You take the South Spur Road. Go to the end of it and you'll see a clearing in the jungle. Follow the path until you meet Polly. He'll take you the rest of the way.
Thanks. I had a feeling there wasn't much time left. Now I understood Suva's anger, and I hoped I could reach him before it was too late. I followed the South Spur and finally reached the clearing Gerda had told me about. Only I hadn't arrived soon enough. It was Lieutenant Tanana. He was badly hurt. He mumbled that Suva and his men had caught them by surprise. In the battle that followed, Suva had taken Colonel Lana prisoner. Lana had pleaded for his life by telling Suva the whole plan against him was created by Van Ryk. Tanana suddenly stopped talking. He was dead. Here was all the evidence Suva needed. Cases of dope camouflaged as copra. Evidently, this had been the dispersing spot to the natives. Then I realized that Suva might be more interested in revenge than proof of Lana's treachery. If Suva was only interested in revenge, he wouldn't stop at Lana or Van Ryk. He would go as far as Gerda, and if he killed her, it would be my fault.
Mr.
Lanyard. I try to explain, he won't listen.
Why are you here, Mike?
To stop you from going back into the jungle for good.
So she told you a story too, eh?
Yes, I believed her. She also told me about the part her father had in it. Go to my hotel, Gerda. Go on, no one will stop you.
She won't get far. Polly will stop her.
Polly's in no condition to stop her. And if you want to try it, you've got to get past me first.
I saved your life once. I would not want to be the one to take it.
All right, Silver. You better start thinking before you put on that war paint for good. Not far from here's a truck. It contains all the evidence you need to form a new government.
Stop him, Silver. He's crazy.
Feel like riding now?
Yes, anything. But please stop it.
You too, Van Ryck. He writes a nice hand. Nervous, but nice.
I wish you could stay.
At least until after the election.
There's no point. Silver's a cinch to head the new government.
Oh, speaking of heads, here's one for you. Some of the natives wanted it given to the man who was responsible for bringing them out of the jungle. Don't you like it? It's made specially for the tourist trade.
Oh. Well, that's a relief. For a minute, I thought it was someone I knew.